supposed to do with this cornmeal?
Let me come and prepare it.
She'll come and help me cook it.
Yes.
So this is cornmeal. I have no idea what this is. So my aunt bought a bowl on cornmeal for me when she traveled, and she decided to come and help me make it today. So the steps to make a bowl is, I feel the most important thing that you need to make it is a pressure cooker. So you put your egbo in the pressure pot. After washing it, add a little water and just let it boil for some time. Then we'll make a sauce that we're going to use to eat the egbo. And I guess the egbo meal is ready. Listen to her as she explains all her steps in making this egbo. Guys, in the end, this is what it came out looking like. And then everybody in the house just tried like little bits just to see what it tastes like.
This ewa. This ata ewa goni. So when we now put this one on top of ewa, now come ewa goni. In Yoruba language, ewa goni. This too is for egbo. Egbo is made by corn.
Tasted nice.
So it's a very delicious food that if you taste it once, in fact, you won't regret it. This is a stew for egbo. It's made by pepper, onions. There's no tomato. You can't fry it with tomato. It won't give the taste. Just pepper and onions. This is egbo, delicious food. In olden days, you cannot do with egbo. Early in the morning like this, you must eat egbo. When my mother was cooking egbo, all of us, we can eat egbo for 3 days because it's a very delicious food. Egbo with ewa. We eat it with beans together. Oh, lovely. Very, very good for beans.
This will be black like this.
You know now.
But for that stew. What is this?
This is not father. This is my egg. Because if you say you don't, you cannot eat it. Join them together and eat.
But then for lunch, we're going back to the south. I decided to make owo soup, which is one of my favorite soups to make. To make the soup, you don't need a lot. To make the owo soup, you don't need like a lot of stuff. You're going to first of all start by putting your water on the fire and then adding dried pepper in. After leaving our dried pepper for some time, adding a little water to our gari. So you want to get gari that has like a lot of starch. I feel that's like the secret to the owo soup. You need starchy gari. So we're going to pour in our gari that has been mixed with water into our pepper and water mix, and you're just going to let that cook for a bit. After it has started boiling, we're going to add the mini crayfish. So it's not like the normal size. These ones are very tiny, and they sell them in the market mostly for soups or mostly for owo soup. So you're going to mix that a little, let it boil, and then we're going to add in our dried fish, dried crayfish, and any other thing that we want to add into the soup at this point. The starch in this my gari was not enough, so I decided to add a little more water and add another gari into the soup, because what the gari is supposed to do is supposed to make it thick. And because the starch in my gari wasn't a lot, it wasn't as thick as I would have liked it, so I added in a little more, and then I started adding my more proteins, which is cow tail. I decided to use cow tail and beef in this soup, so I dried it up just a little bit, and we're going to add it in. We're then going to stir it, let it boil, At this point, we already added in our salt and just a little Maggi because I didn't want the meat to cook in the soup broth without having enough spices. After everything has boiled, we're then going to add in our palm oil. A lot of people say oil soup is very oily, but I find it's not as oily as we think. I think it's not as oily as maybe egusi soup. You need more oil to cook egusi soup if you want to cook like patty egusi soup. So, but anyways, that's just my observation. Let me know what you think in the comment section. At this point, we're going to add in more Maggi. So I'm adding Maggi star and no star. Maggi star and no chicken. So we're going to add it in, and then we're going to stir a little bit and just let everything boil and come together till it's looking nice and delicious. So we're going to boil it until the water dries, and then I'm going to take in the fish because we want to add in our other ingredients at this point. And if you don't take out the fish, everything is going to scatter in the soup. So I take out all the big chunks of dried fish and just leave them in a plate. Then we're going to get another plate. This is your local salt, and then we're going to mix it with our potash or a cow. I don't know what they call it where you're from. So we're going to break them in a bowl like this, add cow and local salt like this. Get another bowl. We're going to put our starch, which is the starch they use to make Niger Delta's food, and then I'm going to add in my salt and my potash or a cow into the starch mixture and just leave that to just soften and scatter a bit. If you have like a pounder, you can just pound them. That will probably fasten the whole process, but I didn't have that, so I left everything in the water for a bit till they dissolved, and then we're going to pour it into our soup. Guys, I feel like this is the final stage of cooking a whole soup. Like once you have poured this in, you're done. You can't add anything else to the soup, or else the soup is gonna scatter. So it's going to thicken up and have that whole soup consistency. As you can see, the magic is already beginning to happen. So we're going to keep stirring it until all our cow and stuff mixes into the soup and gets it to be a little bit lighter and whiter. I added a little more meat stock because the soup was very thick and I wanted it to be a little more runny, so I added the meat stock. The secret to the whole soup is when you add water, don't mix it in, just let it boil into the soup by itself before trying to mix it in, or else your soup is going to separate. But guys, this is what our soup is looking like. It's done at this point, and the taste, oh my goodness, the taste is divine. Have you made a whole soup before? Is it one of your favorite meals? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Next, it's time to just make starch that we're going to eat with our soup. So this is starch. So it's made with starch. I think if you watch the previous video on how curry is made, it's the same way starch is made. And then I'm eating it with my ugu soup that I just made. I'm so tired. Like I've just closed from a very long day. Hi guys, so we just got back from the mall. We really just went to buy like handbags that they can take to church. So church, we're having Thanksgiving in church. So my friend delivered consignment to me. So she delivered suya and I want to make noodles, which is one of my favorite meals. Where's the stop that? See, this whole thing is suya. Delicious, juicy suya.
If you taste the suya, when you are getting indomie, you will not have anything.
Because I put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of the suya because it has the bark and all the juiciness. So there's so much suya left. I'm still going to put it in the freezer and I'll be warming it. What is it? Who am I sending it to? Even if not taboo, you can still come in my room. Ah, yeah. Oh my. Oh my Cinderella. See, that song has been playing in my head. I think it's by Nas. Yeah, the Nigerian comedian Nas sang that song. Or the song, The Power of Marketing. Marketing 101 is where that song stands because the vibe is just like so much energy with the marketing of that song. And I think also the fact that they've been using like a lot of skit makers to market the song has really helped because it's playing on everybody's head right now. But I'm just making noodles. I'm trying to clear up as I'm making it because I don't want to be in the kitchen for a long time. So after making the noodles and we eat, Rio is going to wash the remaining dishes. So nice to have older children. No. So if you're making, or if I'm making noodles, I try not to let it cook for too long. I don't like soggy noodles. I'm not a fan of soggy noodles, so my noodle doesn't cook for like the longest time. And then I'm also not a fan of the noodle spice. I've made noodles for some people where they're like, Fummeee, see, put the spice like when you have turned off the indomie. I don't do that. Like I have to put the spice while I'm cooking. I like the spice to cook. And then, this indomie is looking delicious. So I feel like, when I say I don't mess up for this indomie, because I think I put too much water. I either put too much, no, I think the heat on this part of the gas, because I use the lowest heat. I use the lowest heat to cook the noodles, so I think I should move it to like the higher gas to prevent it from being soggy. Because at this point it's supposed to be fried. Yeah, so this is my food. Riho is making eggs that they're going to use to eat their own noodle with meat. But I don't like fried egg, so we won't be doing that.
I was just putting this glass clothes.
What was that?
Remove it.
Okay. Why didn't you do what you told them you would do?
because I already did what I told Reggie to do. And I still have to pay to do what I asked.
Right, that wasn't on Charles. Yes, right, you have one.